Okay, so I want to do a quick video on how to take a cell inside of an Excel sheet and make it to where we can change that cell and it'll affect the Power Query that we have inside the sheet. So I've talked about this before in some other videos, and including this one right here, how to switch through data tables with a single drop-down box. But I just want to do a quicker video to sort of highlight how this is done. So you can see that we use the Record.Field function, and let me see if I can expand this here. Record.Field, and then so what we're going to put in there is source, and then what's next is the row. However, the row starts at 0, so you can think of it as if we want to refer to the first row, we're going to do row 0, and then the second row is going to be row 1, or going to be 1, so it can be it's the row number minus 1, and that's going to be encased in the squiggly parentheses, and then comma, and then in apostrophes we're going to have the column name. So to show a real life example of how that's working here, I've got I have a box right here, okay, and what I want to do is I want to be able to change this number in here and have it affect this table over here. And what it's doing is, what it's going to be doing is changing how it groups. So what this does, this is grouping all of these data over here by year, and it's adding up the amounts. So you can see here that 2020 has 61, 2019 has 0.7. Okay, so this is where what it's doing. So it's adding it a little differently because I've already got a number in there. But if I were to just do it straight up, it would be just the 2019 values of 0.76. And so this, in this situation, this is an issue because if you have a stock where it's right at one of the dividend payments is right at year end, sometimes it might be before the year end, sometimes it might be after the year end. So in this data, you might have only 3 for 1 year and then 5 for the next year. And so what this is doing is it's moving it around so that we can get 4 in every year. So anyway, what we're going to do to get this into a variable inside of Power Query is first we're going to come up here and create we're going to put what we want to put in here, and then we're going to highlight this in the cell above it, and we're going to go insert table. Box is going to pop up. It's going to say it's going to ask you for where the parameters of the table is. It's also going to have a box in there that says my table has headers. You're going to want to check that. And what it's going to do is it's going to then bring up something like this. So you can come up here to table design and uncheck header row. And then with that one cell of the table clicked on, you're going to come here to data from table range. It's going to create a new table. I already have one in here, so I'm going to delete this. And then from there, what we're going to do is I've named the step that I want to name it. I've done a Record.Field source. We're referencing the first row in column 1. And so that's returning the value of 7. There, this is what it is. First row, done. So then we get that. So then we can come up here to this code, and instead of what I had right here was I had -7 originally. So instead of having -7, I can come in here and say straddle number, and then that'll make it to where every time I change that number inside that Excel sheet, it's going to update the Power Query data. I want to go ahead and give credit to where I first learned this, which is Mike Gavin at his YouTube channel, Excel is Fun. He has tons of videos. I don't know exactly which one, but recommend you check him out. One more thing I want to note here. So when we have this one cell that is just a table of one cell, when we go to change this number, if we hit the delete button, it's going to wipe out the entire table. And so one of the ways we can get around this is by just not unchecking this header row and then hiding this column right here so that when I go to clear it, it keeps the table intact.